Hi everyone, Marisa Stone here with Simon Says Social in the Systems Lounge, and I want to welcome you today to the 2018 Premier International Women's Business Systems Virtual Summit, where you get to learn all about the systems that our speakers are using to get things done. And I am super stoked to have my friend and colleague here, Rose Colarossi, and she is going to talk with us all about female success secrets. And guys, you do not want to miss this conversation. So let me tell you a little bit about Rose before we get started. So after 25 years of working with women and owning multiple businesses and winning many awards, Rose is an author, a speaker, a former radio show host. She also, though, understands firsthand these struggles, wants, and needs of female entrepreneurs and the tools necessary to bring their businesses and their lives to the next level. And you guys are going to hear what we mean by that in just a few moments. After a few years, Rose began to see this pattern emerge in a lot of her clients and their struggles, and everything tended to turn in the same direction. And although she was equipping her clients with these tools and strategies that they needed, she could see that they were more than capable of incredible levels of success. And she started seeing this pattern of female entrepreneurs dealing with emotions such as feeling stuck, having doubts, experiencing the imposter syndrome. How many of us have felt that? Oh my gosh, why would somebody hire me over somebody else? This chronic procrastination simply because of analysis paralysis or whatever's going on in your brain, this shiny object syndrome, frustration, etc. And she saw this over and over and over again out of these amazingly talented women. But she didn't at that time have the tools to help them. She explains that it took her personally feeling stuck to search for something that would not only help her, but also help her clients. After a lot of research, digging in, really pouring through everything she could find, and after experiencing several different modalities for herself, two specific modalities stood out for her as having helped thousands of women around the world. So in true Rose fashion, she flew literally across the globe. And this is where she made me very, very jealous, because she got to go to Australia. And that is my place. And she actually, while she was in Australia, she trained to become certified so that she could bring these modalities to the United States and start working with her clients here. The results that her clients have been getting is nothing short of amazing. And I can tell you guys, I'm one of them. And let me tell you what, this is rocking. You can visit her website, and those links are below. And we're going to talk about those in just a little while. But the bottom line is after many years of being asked about these success secrets that Rose has, like you can see it when she walks through the door, you can just see she knows stuff. She finally put together these lessons learned in what she calls the female success secrets. And now she's sharing them with us inside the 2018 Premier International Women's Business Systems Virtual Summit. And I cannot wait to dive into this conversation. Rose, welcome to the summit. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here.
Awesome. So let's just begin at the beginning, because I know a lot of women out there are now wondering, what in the world are we talking about when we're talking about female success secrets?
So I do a lot of public speaking, and people know that I've been coaching and consulting women and have had women on my staff for years. And they always say, what are the secrets? Like, what's the secret to success, Rose? So I said, you know what? We've got to listen to what our ideal clients are looking for. So I said, why don't I put together this female success secret formula, if you will? And so that's what I've done. And it's in the acronym of the word success. So it's very easy for people to remember.
Nice. Okay, so let's just apply this to entrepreneurship. Why are some of these things, and I'm sure this answer is going to come out in the wash as we continue talking, but why are these things that female entrepreneurs need to consider? Because this summit is all about women building their businesses, right? Why should we think about these female success secrets and try to implement them?
Okay, because so many of us, as entrepreneurs, we are going through all of these same struggles, and they are specific to women, right? Because we're balancing family and children and different things, and we're made differently, right? We know just apart from the physical. So in entrepreneurship, there are certain secrets. If we stick with these, it's going to give us that greater yield of success. So, for example, the first S in the acronym success is staying focused, right? Because as entrepreneurs, we are very, very creative people. And this is a gift, but sometimes it can be a curse, right? Because we've got all these different ideas and we have, the SOS syndrome, right? Shiny object syndrome. And, squirrel, okay, I see this and I have this idea.
Right.
And then perhaps we're seeing things on social media of someone and a certain platform working for them. And we think, okay, you know what? I'm going to stop what I'm doing and I'm going to go try to do that.
Yeah.
Then what happens is we have these series of projects that are just not finished. And I'll go into how to deal with that. And I have a great resource when we do the deep dive, because it's something that we all experience.
Awesome. So before we go any further into these secrets, what in the world, I have to ask this question, what in the world made you come up with female success secrets? Because I absolutely love this idea. And the minute that you told me the title of the talk, I was super excited. What made you come up with this idea?
So again, it's when people would come up to me and talk. And then when I had clients, they're like, Rose, this is a lot of information. How can I remember this, going forward in my business? And so I am a big proponent of acronyms or the ABCs of anything, because we have so much information coming at us in so many different directions. So the female success secrets, right? Using the word success as an acronym and the last two S's as dollar signs really gets people's attention, but it also helps them remember what those secrets are.
Nice. Very nice. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. So you mentioned the first secret as being as staying focused, but there's also one that's all about tracking your cycle. And I know when I heard you talk on the summit last year, this was a big one for me, right? This was kind of an eye-opening experience, because I always get to that place in my own cycle where I define myself as useless. You've heard me use that term. And it's because I work on such a high level all the time in my normal life that when I'm in that particular week, I feel like I'm not getting anything done. And I'm probably working like by normal standards at that point. I feel like I'm getting nothing done. So can you talk with us about the number one reason you believe women truly should be tracking their cycle and how this impacts us in business?
Yes. So the U for underneath the word success is understanding our female factor. And what does that mean? What it means is we need to embrace our natural ebbs and flows as women. So, I mentioned it before, other than the physical, we are so very different from men because of our cycle, right? And one of the key components, when we're young and we're taught in health class, the difference between boys and girls, we're shown this anatomy film and then sent on our merry way. Well, as you know, there's so much more to that with different emotions and physical symptoms, and we're all different, but we all have this cycle. When we start tracking our cycle in terms of when we are having our period, when we are having physical symptoms, when we are feeling better than other times in our cycle, when we have more energy, there really is a system that once we track will show us when it's a better time for us to work in groups, when it's a better time to work individually, when it's a better time to go on that job interview or to hire an employee. So I'll get into that a little bit more in the deep dive. I'll go through each week. But if we can think of tracking our cycle, not just for people who are looking to conceive, but really using it as a system to know, you know what, if I've got a public speaking gig, I want to make sure that I am on my best, that I'm bringing my best forward. So I'll go into that a little bit deeper in the deep dive.
Yeah. And I love that, because one of kind of my aha moments was during that time that I feel like I'm useless is really when I should be cleaning house,
Yeah.
right? I'm much more strict about myself and what I'm doing and the things that I have going on. And it's much easier for me to go in and think logically and look at everything and go, okay, this is working. This isn't, it's got to go.
Yeah. And, we need to be gentle on ourselves,
Yeah.
and women as a whole, but then women entrepreneurs or women in business, we're running a business, we've got a family, and we make no time or excuses for ourselves.
Right.
And what I talk about is there are times where we feel like climbing in the bed and pulling the covers up. And you know what? That's natural, because that's a time where we really do need to nurture ourselves. So we'll go into that a little bit deeper. Yeah.
Well, and that leads me to my next question. One of the other things that you talk with a lot of your clients about is creating what you call healthy boundaries. And I know that we've had some other speakers talk about healthy boundaries on this summit. And guys, the reason being is because this is so very important. Rose, can you talk about healthy boundaries for a minute? And let's just begin at the beginning. What in the world are they, first of all?
Okay.
Like, if you're like me, you always say yes to everything and then you're overwhelmed.
Right. So, that takes us to the E in success. And I use that as exercising healthy boundaries. Yes, we need to exercise physically, and we all know that, but we need to exercise healthy boundaries, right? That's for our physical and our mental health as well as our performance, right? So it's a component, a crucial component of our self-care. And again, as women, we forget that we do need to take care of ourselves, right? When we're on a plane and they tell us if there's an emergency and the oxygen masks drop, you're to take yours, put it on you so that you can better assist those around you. Yeah. The same, we need to remember the same thing applies to us, right? So if we're taking care of ourselves, we can better take care of our businesses and the people that we love around us. So the consequences of not setting healthy boundaries can be increased stress, financial burdens, wasted time, relationship issues. All of that comes into play, right? So in the deep dive, I'll go a little bit more into, well, what is a healthy, boundary, and how do we know when people around us are not healthy? Because you know what? There are seasons in relationships, whether they're friendships or businesses. If that's not really feeling good, or it doesn't feel like it's working out for our higher good, sometimes it's time to let that go, and that's okay. And in the deep dive, I'm going to talk about one dirty word that's going to help all of us lower stress and increase our success and our happiness.
Wow. I'm loving that. I cannot wait. So, okay. So if you're, I keep going back and putting myself in the position of the person that we're talking about. If you're one of those people who doesn't want to feel like you're being mean, right? How do we set these healthy boundaries without hurting someone else around us or coming across as a not so nice person?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So that's one of the biggest issues why women in particular don't always practice healthy boundaries, right? Because we want to be nice and we want to be liked. Right? And that starts at a very young age. When we're young and we do things that people want us to do or say things that people want us to say, we're told, that we're good girls, and we feel liked and we feel loved. But then if we do something that they particularly don't want us to do or they don't want us to say, we can feel that. We can feel that, maybe they're not liking us or loving us as much. And so we try to navigate through life, through business, by being liked and being nice and trying to be kind and trying to please everyone. And in the end, the only person that is being hurt is us. And then it's our business and the people around us. So I'm going to go into very simple ways in which we can be very pleasant, very nice, but set those healthy boundaries.
Yeah. And I think that's very, very important for women. For sure. Okay. So another thing that you talk with your clients about is what you call presence. When you're talking about presence, you're not really just talking about what we look like, right?
No, I'm not. Okay. So Yeah, so we actually have what I call the power of our presence, right? And so, yes, how we look, because we're very visual beings, but it goes much further than that. It starts from before we walk through the door to the minute we walk out of that door, right? How are we bringing ourselves? How are we showing up? And I talk about the ABCs of how you show up with my clients. And I'm going to share that with your audience during the deep dive again. Very, very simple, but very, very important. I run a networking group as well, and I teach workshops on why isn't your networking, yielding you the results? A lot of it has to do with this. How are you showing up? What is your presence representing to the world?
Yeah.
And sometimes we forget how important that is.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about another thing that you talk with clients about, something you define as soft skills. What are soft skills and why in the world are these so important?
Yeah, so to me, owning all the businesses that I have and I do, people always ask me, your drop-off rate is very low. How are you hiring people and what are you looking for? Well, skills, hard skills can be trained, but soft skills, their attitude, their personal attitude, their outlook on life, their outlook towards the people around them, how are they treating people? All of those things are soft skills. And again, you know me, I have an acronym.
Yeah.
That I share with my clients,
Yeah.
so that you can remember exactly what are those skills. Because when it comes down to it, it's how we make people feel that they're going to remember. And that's where the power of your presence and both your soft skills come into play.
Yeah.
How are you making people feel? Because that's what they're going to remember.
So when you're talking about soft skills and choosing people around you, I'm assuming that are going to work within your business or be partners or whatever, you actually look for people and seek out people who have what you identify as these soft skills. Yes? So
I do. And that's for many, many reasons, right? So, we're all in the customer service business, whether we realize it or not. We all have clients, and clients are going to stick with us, and they're also going to bring us new clients through their testimonials. And that's when we over deliver, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how are we going to over deliver? Yes, there are skills that we need, but that customer service, again, going back to that feeling of, I'm going to do my best.
Right.
I'll take the employee who makes me feel good and I know is going to try their hardest and have pride in what they're doing and really kind of be the voice and the face for us, because they're out there with the clients, versus the person that comes to me with this long resume of fantastic skills. But guess what? Maybe they don't have resourcefulness, or maybe they don't have people skills. And that is critical, as you know, in any business. Customer service is a dying art. We know when we go into big boxes, it's all about the price and it's not customer service. Well, when you're an entrepreneur, it is all about the service. Yes, we need to deliver, but I believe we need to over deliver, and it's how we make our clients feel that's most important.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Yeah.
For sure. But we're not just talking about people we hire, because not everybody on this summit has actually hired somebody to come into their business yet. They maybe haven't brought in an employee. They haven't hired a VA. They have not, what I mean? Like, I'm trying not to eliminate, to exclude those who perhaps haven't hired somebody. So for those people, how do we help them to ensure that the people that they're choosing to work with, that they're choosing their circle, also have these soft skills? Do you see what I mean? Yeah.
So the C in success, one of the C's, is your circle of empowerment. Right. And your circle of empowerment is so very important. Mm-hmm. So who are we allowing into that circle? So, if you don't have staff, this applies to the people around you.
Yes.
And it also applies to, who do we want to work with? right? So I've had many different types of businesses, from a woman's fitness facility with over 1,500 members and 16 part-time employees, right? To restaurants, and then of course my coaching and consulting business.
Right.
You get to a point where you say to yourself, you know, I want to enjoy what I'm doing. And you realize that sometimes you just don't want to work with particular people, right? So if a client comes to you and they are just this negative Nelly, and you just know intuitively and by having your onboarding conversation that he or she is never going to be happy, why are you going to waste that energy and that time in your business to have someone who you know is never going to be happy? They're not going to bring you new clients.
Right.
So that circle of empowerment, look at when we go through the acronym, and I'll give you a hint. Some of them are honesty and emotional intelligence, and the biggie is integrity. And we're going to deep dive into integrity. Okay. A lot of people are throwing that word around.
Yes.
And I don't think they're truly understanding what that means, especially to be a woman of integrity.
Yeah.
And, you know, you and I, we know this. We want to work with women that have integrity, because they're understanding the importance of that. So whether it's your friends, whether it's people that you're working with or working for you, it's clients, you really want to protect that circle of empowerment. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in the deeper dive.
Wow.
That answer your question?
Yes, totally. Because I just want people to understand that your team can be so many more people than just somebody you've hired. Like, you know, my team, you know, is made up of, you know, colleagues that I work with, and, you know, the woman that cleans my house, and, you know, the person that takes care of the kids. And, you know, so you have so many more people on your team, your partner, your significant other, or husband or wife, so many more people on your team who are there for you than just employees, right? Because, you know, when we think, oh, well, I don't have a team yet, you really do. You just might not be thinking about them as your team.
Exactly. And we do. We need to think of everyone and everything in our world as part of our extended business or our extended team, for sure.
Yeah.
I do want to go back though. One of the, there's two things. One of the important things that we didn't get to cover, which is the other C in here, is creating systems.
Yes.
And of course, that's your wheelhouse, right?
That's why this summit is here.
So creating systems in terms of a female entrepreneur, or anyone, I don't care, in terms of your business and in terms of your life, is critical. Now, I'm this big picture thinker. I'm the creative person. I need systems to hone me in, to make my life and my business easier, right? We want to work smarter and not harder. So in this systems, right, in terms of our business, and I'll go into some of the systems that I use that I think are fantastic and have helped me and my clients in the deep dive, but there is a system in place in terms of your circle of empowerment, right? And we're going to talk about how you choose that by talking about really the definition of integrity, right? And making sure, right, we can say, oh, we want to work with women of integrity. Are we being that person?
Yes.
Are we coming to the table as a woman of integrity? And I have, you know, some questions that we'll go over in terms of, you know, again, how am I showing up? What am I doing to project being a woman of integrity, so that then the law of attraction, I am attracting those types of women. Now, do we sometimes have women that are attracted to that, and sometimes they mirror it and it seems as though they're that same way? Yeah, but there are simple questions to ask yourself. And it starts with, really, what is she, here's the number one, is she really looking out for my best interest as much as her own? Right? We know that.
And you and I have had so many conversations around that.
We have.
This has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for all you've shared here. Before we let you go, how can people reach out to you if they want to pick your brain a little bit more about these female success secrets, access some of your resources, or perhaps even work with you? How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, so rosecolarossi.com. So it's Rose, like the flower, R-O-S-E, and then it's COLAROSSI.com. ROSSI.com. You can go to the website, sign up for my mailer. I do 15-minute free Connect with Rose. You can go to bit.ly/Connect with Rose as well. And it's not a hard sell. I just love to speak to women. I work with women all around the world because I work with them over Zoom. And one last thing, this has been fantastic, Marisa. I want to talk about the last S in the acronym of success. And that is what I have found to be the #1 success secret. And we are going to talk about that in the deep dive, ladies. So
Awesome.
Thanks so much for having me, Marisa.
You are very, very welcome. I'm so excited to get into this deeper dive with you. Guys, click on the links below and take advantage of some of the resources that Rose is sharing with you today. Definitely check out what she has to offer you, because if you're really struggling and trying to get your female success secrets in line so you can up-level your business, this is definitely the opportunity to do that. Now, for those of you that really want to take this deeper dive with Rose and you want to continue this conversation, you definitely want to stick around for this advanced session. But in order to do that, you're going to have to upgrade to the All Access Pass. There is a button below this video right now that will take you directly over to that page where you can snag that right now. And the reason that you're going to want to do that is because not only do you get all of these live sessions that you're watching right now, but you get every single one of these much deeper dives that I'm taking with every single one of our speakers. And I guarantee you do not want to miss that one. Rose, thank you so much for being here. This has been fantastic. And guys, we will see you inside the All Access Pass. Bye, everyone.